Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another Act with Purpose podcast. I'm your host, Adam Peddle, and over here we've got John Stevens, CEO and founder.
Hey, what's up?
Of Act with Purpose. Hey, John, how you doing, man?
I am still recovering. I don't know about you, but I am still recovering from our trip from LA.
Yeah.
Wow, what a whirlwind!
Yeah,
so much fun and so much business. We got. It was a really, really great time. And I'm still recovering. I feel like this is the best my voice has been since being back, but what a great time.
It was, getting to meet tons of families, tons of actors, and, it always reminds me of me, when you go back and you're like, oh, when I was first starting, like the same kind of similar thought process, still trying to discover the industry as well, so... And part of me, I want to help every single one of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's tough. It is tough.
It is tough. And, I'm kind of known for being the guy who does bring Canadian talent to the United States.
Right.
And while I'm very proud of that, and I've helped some really fantastic actors get to that place where they can now say they have their O1 visa, it's exciting, it's great, but it also is a lot of work and it's a lot of expense. And I feel like a lot of Canadians don't realize it's better to be in Canada.
Yeah.
Especially starting out. Like if you're not booking in Canada, you're not going to book in another market. It's really important that you focus here locally first.
Right.
And I want to just chat about that for a second because I want people to understand the requirements to get an O1 visa. In order to qualify and to be able to even apply for an O1 visa and not waste everyone's time, energy, and money, because it's expensive to hire a lawyer to file all these different forms for you, you have to have letters from directors, producers, and other actors who are well known in the industry. You have to have these letters and you have to have credits. Mm-hmm. If you don't have those, you are not going to be able to apply and get an O1 visa. The other thing that I don't think that a lot of Canadian families and Canadian actors know or realize is that it's so much better to be here in this market.
100%.
Especially right now.
What's your story? Well, your story. Oh, the strike, of course.
Yeah.
And I know you had a story like based on just pure casting.
Yeah.
It's better to be here.
Our good friend Krisha Bullock, she's absolutely amazing, and she's one of the few casting directors that is both CDC and CSA. So she's registered for both casting associations in Canada and in the United States. Mm-hmm. We were in Winnipeg many years ago, and we were sitting down at lunch, and she said, John, I just want to show you what it looks like from my perspective on these different casting websites. So she opened up Casting Workbook and Actors Access, and she showed me a casting she had that was live for Los Angeles and another one that was for Toronto. They were both small little bit parts, like under 5 lines, right? So not a huge role.
Like a principal.
Yeah, so it was a small little bit role. And in Los Angeles, an under 5 role had over 3,000 submissions, almost 3,500. Like It was really high up there.
Yeah.
Just submissions for that one role. In Canada, that same role, under 5 lines or so, 150 to 200 submissions.
Yeah.
So eventually it just comes down to a numbers game, right?
Yeah.
So which market do you want to be in? Do you want to be up against 3,500 or do you want to be up against 150 to 200?
Correct.
It is so much better to be in the Canadian market. You're going to get more traction. You're going to get more exposure. You're going to get bigger opportunities sooner by staying in the Canadian market.
And more experience too, right? If you're jumping on set, if you're more likely to jump on set right away, obviously things take time. It took me a very long time to jump on set, but you're already gaining those skills that you would need anyways to get that visa, right?
100%.
And also, I want to also comment, like, just because you also get a visa doesn't necessarily mean you're going to have success in the Los Angeles market or any other market in the United States. I had one friend who, when he was here, he was booking nonstop. You know, he was 17 at the time. He booked lead roles in a bunch of different things, TV shows, films, just had so much success. Then he got management down in LA. They said, why don't we give this a shot? I believe he did get a visa. He was recommended because he was having so much success, and management down there got him one. And he went and he started auditioning down there for about 6 months until his visa expired, and then he got nothing. So just because you have success here, you go into a completely new market, well, now you have to just do it all over again.
You're starting over from scratch,
Yeah.
and you're in a much bigger pond.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is exciting, and it is wonderful to, of course, rub elbows with some of those really big agencies and managers. But for Canadian actors, I think the first step is really making sure that you're focusing on your local market. And that can be tough because some people that are in local markets are in markets where there's not a whole lot going on. The good thing is, though, that now with so much casting being online or being self-tapes, they are starting to open up and be a little bit more inclusive of other areas.
Yeah.
Do we have a rat?
That is, oh no, it's okay. I was just checking out the screen. I was like, is there something behind me? But I don't have my glasses, so I was, don't worry about me.
This is a common theme with you.
I know.
No glasses.
Speaking of LA, I forgot my glasses in LA. Then I go on stage and I'm speaking to everybody and I don't see anybody's face. So I'm just like generally scanning, hoping I'm making eye contact with somebody. You know?
Too funny. But no, there were some really great things that happened there, and I'm super proud of all of the actors that did their thing.
It was a great event overall.
Yeah, and how fun was it? There was an event going on next door with a bunch of 80s bands. And I used to attend a bunch of different things where there were all kinds of 80s events and that sort of thing. And so that's kind of my circle. And I happened to be at the host hotel when in Rome, Flock of Seagulls, and a bunch of other 80s bands were all performing across the street. And don't you know, I ran into my friends, Janine and Jamie, from 80s in the Sand there. So that was like totally crazy.
How did you first meet them? Like, what was the story there?
So I met them in Punta Cana.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And they're just great people. And we ended up really bonding, and they've become really close friends. And then I was in the lobby, and Jamie had come down just to get ice.
Right.
And so he got kind of like, it wasn't on every floor. So he came down to the lobby, and he was walking through the lobby. And at one point I turned and I was like, I think that's Jamie. Wasn't 100% sure. And then, and he said the same thing. And I thought I saw him kind of like stop and look.
Yeah.
And then we crossed paths and we both looked at each other. Oh my God, it is you.
Right. See, if it was me, I wouldn't have seen because I wouldn't have my glasses.
Exactly.
I would have missed out on a chance.
You would have missed out on everything. So anyway, it was so funny. He went out for ice and he came back up to the room with me and surprised Janine. And Janine's like, what the hell?
Wow.
I can't believe this is happening.
Small world.
Very small world.
Wow.
So much fun running into them. And also, oh my gosh, have to give a shout out to Jonathan Rocket.
Oh, yeah.
So, Jonathan Rocket came by on the first night that we were there, and it was so nice to catch up with him. What an interesting guy. There's not many people who I can talk clown with.
Yeah.
And he's working on a documentary on clowns. And so how crazy was it to run into him and be able to catch up with him after, I don't think we've seen each other for probably 12 years or so.
Wow.
So we kind of like got a little bit out of contact for a while.
Are you trying to be in his clown documentary?
Hey, you never know, right? So I'm super excited about, reconnecting with him. And then I think the real pièce de résistance was reconnecting with my old stage mate, Jeremiah.
Yeah.
What a great guy.
He's a great guy.
Had so much fun. He graciously opened up his home in Hollywood Hills to come in and catch up. And we had amazing dim sum out on the patio overlooking Los Angeles and the Hollywood sign. I mean, it's the kind of thing you can't, write.
Yeah.
You can't, like, Truly.
Yeah.
It was such a nice day. And then having our friends come and pick us up, take us to
Yes.
Santa Monica Pier,
Yes.
connect with some of our clients, some of them who just got signed with some really big agencies and things like that, and to be able to celebrate with them. It was just really
that
fun.
I love that celebration between all the different Canadian families when one person has success. I saw your post. When one of us has success, all of us
We
have success.
all have success.
Yeah.
It's really it's a great thing when Canadians can stand up for one another, and we truly saw that the spirit of support that we had while we were down there. So many people posting, sending goodwill, and like it did not go unnoticed.
Yeah.
It was so beautiful. And then to top it all off, having a couple of days in Los Angeles with my sister.
Yeah.
That was a really nice time to
Yeah.
hang out with my sister and her husband Clay and the dogs.
The dogs were
Three
great.
dogs. Oh my
Dogs
gosh.
were great.
Bianca, Buttercup, and Wesley.
Oh, Buttercup.
I know. Wow.
I miss Buttercup.
They are a handful.
Yeah.
But it was so great to be able to hang out with them and just kind of have a family moment after something so big and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But there were some really, really wonderful things that happened there.
Yeah. No, it's definitely one of those experiences, you can definitely cherish.
And I'm very excited about some of the meetings that we had while we were down there.
Yeah.
So I am planning a trip to go back. I do feel like there's a couple of things that are very quickly coming up on the horizon for Act with Purpose and for Act on Ability, the foundation we have that helps persons with disabilities be more visible and also to have more access to proper training for television and film. And so I feel like we made some really good headway in terms of making some connections there. And I think there's some next steps to follow up. So planning on a trip to go out there again, have a few more meetings, have a few more sit downs with some people. And you know what's hard is I want to just apologize to all of my friends and other people, family and other business connections there as well. My time there is so limited. And I know there's a lot of people who reach out or they go, hey, how come you didn't tell me you were in town? There is such a limited amount of time to be there, and literally we were going from one thing to the other
Yeah, it
to
was.
the other. To
It
the
was
other.
crazy.
We were hopping, and I think if we had tried to add any more in, I just don't think we could have handled it. I mean, look, we're still getting over.
I know, literally. Last Friday I collapsed, not in a heart collapse kind of way, but like a physical. I couldn't get out of bed. I was also prepping for a big event last week, so I was getting up at really, like, it felt like LA. The amount I was getting up to the amount I was working, I wasn't stopping. So, but I mean, that's kind of a note to talk about where, we also got to focus on mental health and taking care of ourselves. It's just like we always preach to our actors. It's the same thing, right? You got to, even though it is lots of great opportunities, you got to put your mental health and physical health first.
100%, yeah. So I have to just give a tip of the hat to you and to Nick.
Oh, thank
on
you.
your guys' event. So for those of you that don't know, you should know. But anyway, for those of you that don't know, Adam and Nick have an amazing podcast, Blue Jays Today. And they did an amazing live event at Real Sports Bar down in downtown Toronto, and it was incredible.
It was fun.
So what a great
fun.
landmark for you guys.
Yeah.
And I just you know what, I just want to say congratulations, because with
you.
everything that you're doing, I look at your calendar and I get exhausted.
Yeah, well, me too. Actually, no. When I look at my calendar, I get comfort. I don't think I'd be able to do the things that I'm doing if I didn't tell myself, like a boss, what to do. You know what I mean? You have to have that other ego boss mentality to tell you now what to do.
You know what? Mindset is everything. And I used to wake up and think, oh, I have to do this today. I have to do that today.
Right.
And instead, I flipped the switch and the dialogue in my own head. And now I'm saying I get to do this.
100%.
I get to shoot a podcast today.
Right.
I get to work with a client today. I get to work on a self-tape with this person today.
It's huge.
And as soon as you change that approach, your level of positivity just goes through the roof.
I know. And you know what? On that same mentality, like I was, again, in these long days, it kind of wears you down. But like I keep telling myself, whenever I'm telling someone, like, oh, I got all this to do, they go that, and they go, oh, like, I'm sorry you have to do that. I'm like, no, you have to be sorry. Like, this is what I wanted. Like, I keep asking myself, is this what I want to be doing? Yeah, I really don't think there is anything else I'd rather be doing than these things right now. So it's like, yeah, like, in the moment, like, your physical health might feel like it's taking a damage. And would we all rather be on the beach in Cabo drinking a martini? Sure, of course we would. But you got to look at it differently, where it's I'm growing right now. I have to be always growing and moving forward. And is this how I want to be growing, moving forward? Yes. And if you ask yourself a real question. If it's not what you want to be doing, then maybe make a different decision about that. But going back to that thing that you're talking about, yeah, absolutely, it's all about your mindset. Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's been a really interesting thing, and I've noticed in recent months, just taking a step back, working on my own personal mental health, I've become more productive.
100%.
And by flipping that switch, flipping that dialogue from I have to I get to, has been a huge change for me. But also, I think we're so lucky, and I saw this at your event at Real Sports Bar, where we are so lucky to have so many family members and friends who come out to support us. And you know what? I think that's another thing that I'm so grateful for is we don't do this alone by any stretch of the imagination. We have so many wonderful people that are supporting us, and clients. Like our clients, I consider them a part of our family too, because I mean, on a personal level, there's been so many times that clients have come forward and offered support when they know we're super, super busy. I have to give a shout out to a couple of families that are just so incredible. First of all, Miriam, who she's so beautiful. Miriam is so generous. Whenever she has a self-tape for Diva, she's bringing in beautiful Persian food for me, and it's just so kind, and we feel so loved and taken care of. The Bikram family have been so generous, bringing in wonderful Caribbean food. I'm definitely like eating very well, but no, it's those little things that just really make you go, you know what, we're really blessed. We're very lucky. Even
down in LA, like I'm we're in the middle of doing things, and then like all of a sudden someone hands me a coffee. Yes. You know what I mean? And I'm like, oh my, and it's like taking that moment of like, you saw the effort, and I don't expect anything in return. I don't, but you just wanted to do it because you saw, I was putting an effort for helping. And it's like, it's kind of the whole thing of, I don't know if you're a karma person. 100%. I'm somewhat, you know what I mean? Like I do believe putting in good energy, you get good energy back. I don't, I don't think, sure, sometimes random negative energy comes, but all you can do is put good in, and good will come back. Yeah. That's it.
I believe that too, and I really feel that in our Act with Purpose community. We're really, really lucky, and I see seeing the support. I have to also just give a really quick shout out to all of our new students.
Yes.
Holy cow. What a great week. I have been on cloud 9.
And you know what? And I'll say this right here. I've known John for almost 10 years now, I've realized. 10 years I've known you. I know.
I'm going to drink. It's water.
It's water. But for the last, and I felt like I've known you in two halves of my life because COVID kind of stopped everything. So in this other half, post-COVID, I've known you for about a year and a half, almost 2 years now, in the second half. And this is the best I've ever seen you, John, just waking up and being excited because, from a year ago, you had visions and dreams of like, we wanted to be a school that was community. People came together. People made group chats. People worked hard. and they achieve a goal. I mean, we're a school and we pride ourselves in helping people with their careers, but we also pride ourselves in making people good people. And I think that's what we're seeing this week, is that it's all kind of coming together. And I've never seen you more excited and happy to get going with your day.
Things have switched over, definitely. I feel it in my own headspace. And, it's interesting that, we talk a lot about mental health.
We do.
And it's interesting to me that a lot of people are afraid to talk about it. And I was talking in one of our classes, one of the adult classes, because people were being open about their own personal experiences, and some of them quite traumatic and things of that nature. And one of the things that I wanted to make sure that our classes are a place where people feel safe. And I feel like we've really accomplished that, because people are sharing things that are deeply personal, but not in a way that is inappropriate for what's happening in the class, but they're sharing their entire selves and not holding back. And we talked a lot about that. And initially, when we were having the conversation, people expressed their trepidation in being their full, true selves. And it brought me back to this other event that happened in Los Angeles when we were out there. I was on stage, and I was just talking about the power of acting, period.
Yeah.
Not the great things that can come out of it, not the paycheck or anything like that, but the personal growth and the personal development that can come out of working in this field and working in this art form. And the one thing that I got up there and I shared that I was a little like, do I share this? Am I honest? I talked a little bit about my grandfather and his suicide. And at first I was like, is that a little dark? Whatever. Well, I got off stage, and there was a lovely woman there who said, "Can I just wait, and I want to talk to you for a second?" And we had a little moment where we both teared up, and we talked about, and she shared with me that she is also experiencing an attempt in her family.
Right.
And she felt empowered, and she felt like it was a release hearing me talk about it, knowing that she's okay, other people have gone through this. And I think that's one of the hardest things when you're going through anything. At the time, it feels like you're the only one who's going through whatever it is.
Yeah.
And one of the most powerful things that we can do is band together. And that's really what I've seen in our classes. What I've seen in our Act with Purpose classes in the last couple of weeks is just people reaching out, people helping one another, people encouraging one another, and people allowing one another to just be themselves, allowing them to be at whatever stage in their career that they're at, allowing them to be at whatever skill level that they are at, and also really keeping the rooms safe by not sharing or any of that sort of thing, and being completely non-judgmental. It's really encouraging. And I do feel like that is a reflection of what we're putting out there.
I agree. I mean, that's, what we bring to the table is like, I mean, you already said it yourself. Like when we were first doing our audition workshop, and meeting everybody for the first time that were going to be in our classes, I mean, you said it right away, right? Like what acting meant to you. And that's the kind of people that we want in our program. Just people who want to feel like they're in a community, want to feel heard,
Absolutely.
right? Because once you feel heard, I mean, you feel like people know you a bit more and aren't going to look at you or why are you acting a certain way or blah, 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 blah. Like, no, we're not here to judge each other. We're here to give critiques on our skills, right? But we're not here to judge you. We're never here to judge you as a person, right?
Yeah, and just giving people a space to create and to explore. Wow, I am so overwhelmed by, and I feel very fulfilled.
Yeah.
With these students. And We already have agents reaching out saying, hey, I saw this person post, or I saw you posting about this person or that person and that sort of thing. And people are already excited. So I'm super excited for the individuals. I'm super excited for our industry professionals who will be coming to the showcase in October.
Yeah.
And like the word of mouth is just
It's powerful.
It's powerful, and it's like it's a little overwhelming at times.
Right.
I go, oh my gosh, I can't believe like some of the nicest
I know
comments and beautiful, beautiful testimonials.
I know. And we have like some people kind of coming after. So we have a 12-week program. We people kind of being like, oh, when's the next one?
Already.
I would love. I know. Like I would love to put you in right now. You just missed the window, but we have it coming up after. And I think we're gonna do this again. Like I love the idea of taking somebody who like they want to see if this is gonna work for them. Give them literally everything you possibly need to know to go out there, represent yourself in the best possible light, and give yourself a chance. And if you're willing to do the work, it will show, and then get you an opportunity to present that in front of industry people, and then see what happens. I want to see that growth, and I want to do it again, and we're going to do that again. Like immediately once the October showcase is complete, we're running another 12-week program for a bunch of new people, and I think we're also going to do for our current people. We're going to
next level.
You got this basic stuff down. Let's go even more in depth. We have a ton of coaches who offer different skills like voiceover, even more intense audition training. Like if you really want to dive in deep to this, like you can.
There's a lot more to go. Yeah. I'm so excited.
I know.
And I'm excited for the students. We've got some great students. We've got some really advanced students who are, quite well known. And then we've got others who are starting off and they're brand new. And it's just wonderful. I feel like the more seasoned actors have really done such a beautiful job of reaching out to the newer actors and helping them understand the information and helping them read for their self-tapes and things like that. There's so many beautiful stories happening. I took a screenshot of one of the Instagram group chats, and it was just seeing the encouragement and the level of kindness. It's easy to focus on things that are so negative, but there are so many great positive things happening. And also, I want to mention, we're so lucky to have so many great parents as well. We have some wonderful parents in the system. And on that note, we're actually going to be doing Parent Night, and it's also for our adult clients as well. But we're going to be talking about managing expectations, how to market, things that are changing in this industry, and also having an opportunity for question and answer with me. And it's going to be coming up on August 11th. So mark your calendars for that. We'll be sharing information on our social media as well. But it's going to be a wonderful night where we can talk at length about all of the things that parents and adults need to know to be successful, what they can do to make themselves more attractive to an agent if they're trying to get an agent. But we're also going to be talking about how to maintain a really good relationship with your agent, what that takes, what the realities are, and that sort of thing. So we'll be talking a lot about those things to help people stay motivated and connected to the industry.
Personally, I think it's a great idea because we get phone calls, texts, emails all the time, and we always encourage you to do so, asking questions about this or that. I feel like it's a great opportunity for everybody just to get a broad scope of cover all the questions, see what's see if you can kind of extinguish any concerns or any worries, and just be like, here it is. This is the information. Real quick, Junks, I know you actually, speaking of our clients, you have a meeting with someone in 3 minutes. So I'll get you to wrap up here. If there's anything you want to say here,
I just want to thank, we have a couple of agencies that are sending us so much work. And just want to thank them for doing that. We have some wonderful casting directors who are working with us, and also to Monica, the president of the Talent Managers Association in LA, who has been doing so many great things for us as well. We are so excited for what is happening here, and things are off to an amazing fresh start here. So Stay tuned, stay engaged. If you're not already following on all the other social media platforms, make sure you do. We've got some special announcements that will be coming out and some contests that will be happening on our social media platforms. So make sure you tune in there. But for now, I'm John Stevens, and this is
Adam Battle.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.